नमस्कार। कार्यक्रममा यहाँहरू सबैलाई स्वागत छ। ब्रिटेन र नेपाल बीच कूटनैतिक सम्बन्ध स्थापना भएको पनि 200 वर्ष नागिसक्यो। आजभोलि धेरै नेपालीहरू ब्रिटेनमा बसोबास गर्दछन्। संख्या हजारौंमा पुगिसक्यो। आजको कार्यक्रम अलि भिन्न छ यस अर्थमा कि आज मसँग ब्रिटिश सांसद, लेबर पार्टीलाई प्रतिनिधित्व गर्नुहुने सांसद वीरेन्द्र शर्मा हुनुहुन्छ। हामी उहाँको जीवनलाई अलिकति निहाल्न खोज्छौं किनकि उहाँ भारतको पन्जाबबाट सन् 1968 मा ब्रिटेन जानुभएको र त्यसपछि उहाँ कसरी ब्रिटिश सांसद सम्मको पदमा पुग्नुभयो त्यसलाई निहाल्ने प्रयास गर्नेछौं र अरु विविध पाटाहरूलाई पनि केलाउन कोसिस गर्नेछौं। आजको कार्यक्रम अंग्रेजी भाषामा हुनेछ। Welcome to Nepal and welcome to Kantipur Television's weekly show Suman Sanga.
Thank you very much to invite me here and give me the opportunity to share my thoughts with your viewers.
You speak Punjabi, you speak
Hindi, speak
Urdu. Can you share a few words in Nepali?
I understand part of Nepalese.
Okay.
I understand.
Right.
By living and working very closely with the Nepalese community back in England, speaking is a little difficult.
Okay.
कोशिश करता हूँ। मैं खुशी सा नेपाल आउँदा।
मैं खुशी छु नेपाल
खुशी छु। Yeah.
I'm delighted to be in Nepal.
Yeah, I'm delighted to be. So I tried that. Namaste, other few words, which is I can try it.
You represent Ealing and Southall, which has a major Nepalese population in UK. Nepalese who have traveled from here and settled over there. How do you find the future of these people who have moved from Nepal and settled in your constituency?
Every immigrant, it is the history and the culture of Britain. That any immigrant moves to Britain, eventually the families settle down and also becomes very successful communities. And I have no doubt the Nepalese community, the way they are participating in the society over there, have a very bright future, both politically and professionally.
Do you foresee any person from a Nepali origin being elected to the British Parliament in the near future?
They will be, yes, they will be elected, not as Nepalese.
No, not at
They will be elected as a nominee of a political party. That is the difference between our countries, India, Pakistan, Nepal, Bangladesh, where the politics is different from Britain. And I, along with many of my other colleagues, do encourage the Nepalese youth who is going to the local schools, universities, getting into the profession, to participate into the political field in UK, and then become candidates and possible member of parliaments and the local councillors.
You moved from India to Britain in 1968.
Yes.
Now you've been an MP from the Labour Party since 2007?
Yeah. Yes.
May I ask you, according to the Constitution of Britain, Can you be elected as the Prime Minister of Britain someday?
Yes.
Yes?
I can be.
Huh.
And there's no doubt if I'm not elected, somebody from the Indian background, subcontinent have every chance to get elected.
Though they are naturalized citizens.
Doesn't matter. They are the Commonwealth citizens.
Right.
Britain have this constitution given the rights to the Commonwealth citizens, which Nepal is not Commonwealth citizen.
So a person
has to be a naturalized, then become British citizen, then will become have every chance and the right to participate and become up to Prime Minister.
I'm a bit confused in this point, basically. And it's interesting to understand because we are also going through several changes here regarding the citizenship issues and everything. What is the difference between a Commonwealth citizen moving to Britain and a Nepali citizen moving to Britain? What is the difference between their rights?
Commonwealth was formed after 1948 when British rule started changing, where the nations started getting the independence. India, then Pakistan became, Sri Lanka, many South African and other countries.
Indeed.
It's simple terms, where British rulers went and ruled.
Colonies.
Okay. I mean, then they formed a new organization which called Commonwealth. In the whole picture, Nepal was never ruled by the British rulers.
Yes. The rights are equal, whether you move from India or whether you move from Nepal.
Yes. Equal rights.
Equal rights. I understand when you move to Britain, first you work...
Bus conductor.
Not even a driver, a conductor?
Bus conductor.
Wow.
I was a bus conductor.
Please.
And that was my first job to get into the job market, put it this way.
Moving from Punjab.
Moving from Punjab.
Yeah.
And then gradually got involved into the trade union movement, was fortunate to get a scholarship from the Trade Union Congress to go to LSE, London School of Economics, studied there, then became a fully fledged, if I use the Southeast Asian language, a politician in the British rule.
That is your ladder of progress.
That's a ladder. Then became a councillor, held various positions in the political party.
Moving from one country to another.
Yes. Moving from a very humble background, a village life, village boy who studied in India in a very small town, had my first degree in India.
But tell me, what was your aim when you moved in the beginning? Did you ever imagine that you would reach the mother of all parliaments one day? Or were you there just for a few years you were thinking of working and coming back? What was your plan?
Every immigrant goes to other country or leaves their motherland for economic prosperity rather than anything else. You move that you will have the opportunities, you will improve your economic situation, help your families and help yourself. That was the general aim. And never thought that I will be there rest of my whole life. Went there for that I will go there for a few years, may do the law degree and come back, make some money and settle back home. But at the same time, it's the tragedy with any immigrant.
Yeah. But do you regret in any way, that you couldn't come back to India?
I mean, there's always some feelings.
Yes.
And the first generation is always have those feelings.
Yeah.
Feelings of regret, feelings of guilt,
loneliness,
feelings of, I think loneliness, because you got married, you got the families, you can manage that.
But you miss the
guilt.
surrounding, your village, your child, shop, and all those simple joys of life.
But you feel guilt on that.
Yeah.
Because you feel that you are not contributing. That's why the first generations always look back. They contribute, there's a small amount into the local school, into the education fields, into the sports field. You contribute something into any social events and the social causes. A lot of first generation will contribute that, because they still have that attachment, that they still have those feelings.
But it slowly declines with the next generation, isn't it?
Third generation normally forgets.
Forget.
Right? I mean, I hope that it's nearly the same here in our society generally. I use the examples in my own language sometimes when I try to explain that when a girl gets married, join her in-laws family, husband, in-laws, she still have the affection towards her parents' house. But all the time her mind is in her family where she settled, where she got married. Second generation remembers mother's maternal place, parents' house. Right? The third generation, very few goes to the grandmother's parents' place. Very few. Fourth generation never. I mean, I don't remember my fourth and fifth generation where they were. My great-great-grandmother, which village she came to my village where I am now born. So it means that it doesn't reduce the attachment.
Yeah, it declines slowly.
It declines. But at the same time now, people do remember, and you remember the Roots, a film, and there's a book as well written, Roots. Roots.
Yeah.
An black American, found his roots back 7 generations. After seventh generation, where his 7 generation before, one of his ancestors came from one African country as a slave. Then because the family to family there were oral stories, oral history.
Passing it from one generation to another.
Like I will be telling my grandchild, my wife will be telling her grandchildren where we come from, what kind of life we had there. Now we are in Britain. He passes on to his children to say, our ancestors, my forefathers came from that village. And that story passes on. And then he wrote a book. And that was also, then the film was made. So that is the tragedy or the side of the, tragic side of any immigrant who loves, but then for circumstances, he misses that.
Yeah, indeed. You are a member of the British Parliament. There's a lot of debate going on in Britain about Brexit. And now it is said that the Parliament must approve it, although the people have approved it in the referendum. Is this a struggle between the court and the Parliament, or can the government move forward without involving the Parliament?
2 issues here.
Okay.
One is that when the former Prime Minister David Cameron called for the referendum, it was a voluntarily, not mandatory. So that is one point, that whatever the outcome is of the referendum is, it is a voluntary, means it is not mandatory, it is not imposed on you. it was David Cameron, the former Prime Minister, given a commitment that he will accept it, whatever the outcome is. So it means that he will not try to find the ways to go against
it,
whatever the outcome. Okay. But that voluntary or mandatory term, that the lawyers, the lawyers are using that. Parliamentarians also in a dilemma. Parliamentarians like me, who was campaigning for remain in Europe, very few was campaigning to come out of Europe, to Brexit, which is term used. Like my constituency, the big majority voted for to remain. But there are others who also campaigned for remain, but their constituencies voted Brexit. So they are in a, if I vote against the decision, my constituents will be happy with it.
But what will happen now? Will the parliament, will it be debated in the parliament?
Where the new Prime Minister made a statement that she will not discuss with the parliament, she just go and negotiate with Brexit, with Europe on Brexit. Where parliamentarians were asking that it should be discussed in the parliament, whatever the terms of reference will be, should be agreed by the parliament, which the High Court have said.
Yes, the court is also saying the same thing.
That the court also, judges also gave the judgment to say that Prime Minister must come to the parliament to get the approval. And she is taking it to the Supreme Court to challenge that decision. But many MPs in her own party also requesting her not to go to the Supreme Court, just accept the judgment and bring it to the parliament.
So what will happen if the parliament says that we will remain inside the European Union? What will be the scenario then?
I mean, then they have to face the public in the 2020 elections, who has given the opposite to that approach. Parliamentarians can do it. Parliament still have that power to reject the referendum and just everything is as it was. But majority people do feel that because of that commitment, we should not go against the wishes of the public, though it's a very close and very narrow majority.
It's just around 52, no?
There were just 52 and 48, sometimes 49, 51. It's how you use the figures. Yeah. So that's where I think that the Parliament will ask them to negotiate, which we get the better deal from Europe, but to negotiate to come out of EU.
You are also in the Interparliamentary Committee?
I'm the chairman of the all-party parliamentary group on Nepal, on the Gurkhas, and India. There's a 3 different groups in the parliament, and I chair all the 3 groups.
Okay. Now that you've mentioned the Gurkhas, how do you look at the contribution of the Gurkhas for the Kingdom of Great Britain?
The contributions made by Nepal, particularly Gurkhas, is widely recognized, respected, and people feel honored to be associating themselves with the Gurkhas, particularly or especially, in all aspects. So Nepal is in the heart of British people and the British society.
Often we hear voices of discontent, like sometimes hunger strikes, sometimes in the Prime Minister's office. Isn't there a permanent solution to the grievances that some of the Gurkhas and ex-Gurkhas have?
I do campaign and support Gorkha's cause, but it was unfortunate that when all those agreements were made between the Gorkhas and the then British government, supported by the Indian government in some cases, that tri-party agreements has caused some problems, which is sometimes innocently. You agree to something, but now you realize it.
Face the problem.
Face the problem. Look, nobody thought in the 1948 the large number of Nepalese people will move to Britain. At that time, agreement was made to take the pensions around the standard of living of Nepal rather than Britain. Not many people thought that time
that they would come.
They would come. Now, later on in life, like the families grows, your whole environment change, people move, your own friends move to Britain, and you also decided that I should go. And those times, the Gorkhas had the special provisions to go to Britain and settle down.
Yeah.
And then there was a conditions laid whether they should be there. Agreement was before 1997 or 1994 or 1992. There's differences over there. But we are fighting on principle that Gorkhas who served in the army should have the equal rights as their counterparts who are non-Gorkhas. It's a slow progress. I'm not saying that we have achieved everything.
But you are very hopeful.
We are working on that. And in politics, it's always, you cannot go into politics and take up the issues if you're not hopeful.
Honorable British MP Virendra Sharma, thank you very much for coming to our show and informing our viewers a little bit about all these issues regarding Brexit, Gurkhas, the Nepalese living in the United Kingdom. We are very honored to have you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Nice meeting.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.